Hi, tell us a little bit about you. Where are you tuning from?
Guatemala. I'm in the Atitlán, transitioning, I'm moving to Mexico City for some months and then see what happens.
Yes,
But very
exciting.
excited.
Yes, that's one of the manifestations which we're gonna get into. So very, very excited for you. Yeah?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Good, good, good. And so share with us a little bit, Cindy. How was your life between before you and I met, like before the mentorship?
So I think I was already kind of like in the path, but I think what I was missing, it was being focused weekly, having the weekly calls, having the group calls. Also, the books that you recommended me were great. I still have them. I'm gonna reread them again. So I think it was a lot of just strengthening already a little bit of what I already knew, and also put it into practice.
Yes.
Because you might know a lot of stuff, but also not knowing how to actually put it in practice. I think that's kind of like the gap most of us have at some point. And also having the weekly calls with the group, and listening to others, having kind of like going through their own transitions and changes. Also, I think it was very valuable for me to learn from, things that other people were also going through.
Absolutely. And then that's why I always say that in order to change, our environments are so important. Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
Yes, yes. And that's also the reason, one of the reasons why you're moving to Mexico, right? To change that environment.
Definitely. And also put it in practice, because it's like a different challenge. And I know I'm gonna be a challenge, and I'm ready. I'm ready to transition, overcome those challenges from a more solidified mindset, I would say. Like a stronger, more tools, more understanding on the laws, and also where I am in this moment of my life, and where do I want to go. So
Beautiful.
having that clear is easier to understand and to overcome whatever comes.
Yes, absolutely. And so what would you say, what are some of your biggest awarenesses or shifts for you during the mentorship?
Definitely the paradigm concept. I think I didn't have it that clear as I have it now. And
Yeah.
also knowing what to do when that old paradigm comes, which is the same as the old self or the old versions of myself. So having that very clear for me, it's like, okay, now I understand that it might still come, but now I know what to do when it comes. Because maybe before it just came, and I kind of like just accepted, or kind of like spend some time there. But now I know it's like, no, this is just my old self trying to come, because it's the way I have been for some time. Um, and knowing that I just have to be strong, and keep on pushing to naturalize this new self. I think that was like the most transcendent things, the paradigm part.
Yes, yes. And thank you for bringing that up, Cindy, because I think that's one of the biggest things that, I for me, like that was missing for me when I was doing my own transformation journey was the paradigm. Because every time when we're about to go out and make a change, the paradigm is always there trying to stop us, right? And it's gonna stop us
Yes.
going into and living our soul purpose too. So if we don't stop it, if we don't overcome it, we'll relive that's why people live the same life over and over again, not having any changes. It's because of that, right?
Yeah, and I think that was one of the reasons I said, okay, I'm gonna invest in this, because I knew I was kind of like there. I was kind of like stuck there in between the new self, or this new version that I wanted, and between the old self, kind of like in the battle. So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, I can live my life like this for the next 10 years, or just actually do something about it, and start living as I want. So I think that was the key point of making a decision to invest. I'm like, okay, I need some help. I don't want to live the same way I've been living. I'm ready to, the decision part, which is also very important.
Very.
Um, so yes, now I feel more confident. I think that's the word. I feel like I'm stronger, I'm more confident, and I know what to do. And uh, the other things that was very clear for me, and it is right now, is that I live from within. Like my focus is in my vibration. It's not on what I see with the senses, but okay, what am I feeling? What is my vibration? That's gonna eventually manifest what I want. So that tuning in, it's also part of my practice. A
Absolutely.
little bit more solid.
Yeah. And then also, when we talk about manifestations, a lot of times, yeah, it's great to manifest the physical things, right? Which we're gonna talk about. But I think for you that I see, Cindy, is that the biggest manifestation is manifesting a new self-image, which
Definitely.
for you, I know you apply some some new self-image practices, and it was uncomfortable in the beginning, right? You wanted to share with us?
I mean, it still is. I think I'm still, and I think this going to this new place, Mexico City, or whatever it is, but this new cycle of my life, I'm excited to put into practice my self-image, because I know, I mean, now I understand that that's key. However I perceive myself is how others will perceive me. How much I believe I deserve, or the life that I deserve is the life I'm gonna have. So also having that very, very like deep now into my consciousness and deeper into my subconsciousness, I know that that's my real practice, like, okay, how do I perceive myself? How do I feel? How do I see myself? So I think that was also, besides the decision and the paradigm, the self-image, those three things, besides the goals, and I mean a lot of things, but yeah, definitely the self-image is what I'm most excited to come in play right now. Because
Yeah.
when I meditate and see my future self, and I see that version of myself, I know that she she's already there. So I have to just release all of these paradigms and align to that.
Yes, that's absolutely. And that's why it's so important to learn how to overcome the old paradigm, because it's gonna come up. So if we don't learn how to overcome the paradigm, then we cannot step into our new self ever.
Exactly. Yes,
Yeah, so beautiful. I think we just kind of summarized, right? So I mean, we went over a lot of important concepts, but I agree with you, right? The most important concepts are definitely decision for sure, paradigm number two for sure, and number three is self-image. Absolutely.
for sure.
Yeah,
Yes,
beautiful.
and I see the change. I see it with the clients that I'm attracting, and it's all about that. Because before, maybe I was doubting. I was like, okay, maybe I shouldn't charge this much, because, but now it's like, no, this is, I know the value I'm giving, and I want, like, also the things that are happening to me are more elevated in that sense, in the client wise, money wise, and just the lifestyle in
Lifestyle,
general.
because you started to value yourself, and that comes with the self-worth. Yeah.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
before, I might feel guilty because I was spending, or I was, treating myself with a fancy dinner, or, was like, well, but this is, but now it's like, no, like, I understand that this is the way, telling me to the universe that this is what I want, this is what I deserve. This is also the vibration this is also my faith put into practice, which is something that I really like on the book of um The
Of
Game of
life,
Life.
of life, yeah.
So putting in your faith in practice is also doing these things, this leap of faith where you are like, okay, it doesn't matter what I have right now in my bank. This is my way to say into the universe that I trust that whatever I'm putting out is gonna come in. But it has to be the right consciousness, because otherwise you start feeling guilty, or you start doubting yourself and all of these things. And this is where the practice of the paradigm comes, and you have to be ready for it,
That's
because
right.
then it's just coming back to whatever you were.
That's right. That's right. Because that's why we see a lot of people that, for example, like, lottery winners, they go out and spend money, right? They have the money, but they never change who they were. That's why
Exactly.
that's why they go back and money is lost, right? Because they never change essentially who they were on the deep level. So absolutely the paradigm. Yeah. Beautiful. So,
Yes.
people that are watching, Cindy, like who maybe, is thinking about whether they should invest in this mentorship or invest in themselves, any words of encouragement for them?
I think it all comes with the decision. As I said earlier, for me, it was about that. It was okay. Am I ready to have a different life? And I think I was tolerating a lot before, and I was kind of like in this roller coaster of things happening to me, but then coming down, and I was like, no, I don't. I'm just done with that, you know. So for me, it was deciding. For me, it was like, no, like I'm ready. I'm ready to do that. So if somebody is and I think most people uh might be there when they approach this kind of mentorships, and definitely I would say it's a leap of faith, because everybody would start thinking about, okay, it's a big investment or anything like that, but at the end, if you have the right tools, if you have the right mindset, it's not about the money. So if you are one of these people that are doubting or thinking, I would say go for it. It's a leap of faith. It's something that you will carry for your whole life. Of course, it's something that needs to be polished forever, I guess.
Yes.
But I guess this 8 months, because I know it was 6 months, but you gave me 8 months of your time, of your mentorship. For me, I take it with me forever. And it's about, of course, my commitment to continue it and to keep on reading and studying and mastering it. So it is a commitment. I mean, it's not something that is going to happen to you. You have to make it happen. But if you are in that moment, I would say definitely do it. It's any investment of self-love and self-transformation is going to pay off in all ways possible.
Exactly. And that's what I always say is that we always know how much something costs, but we never know what we can get out of it because it depends what we put into it, right?
Exactly. Yes, definitely. I mean, you give the tools, but we have to do something with the tools.
Yep, yep,
But
yep.
but honestly, the weekly group for me was myself doing that, working with the tools that you gave us, but also having that space where we talk about them and also understand uh, how to make them better. So it's not just something that you give us; it's something that you kind of like help us sustain through the whole mentorship, which I think is the most valuable.
Yes.
Because you by yourself, it's harder. But if you have this kind of like community and everybody's in the same moment, then it's very helpful. It kind of like sinks in your brain more.
Absolutely. And that's why I always say change, the environment is the key to change, right? Having the right environment, it's easier, right? So
Yeah.
definitely having a community and like-minded people. So absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, and the books and the videos. So there's a lot of things, but you have to take advantage of it. I mean, because I
Yes.
was like reading and I'm still reading, and for me it's a commitment because I made the decision. So it's like all in, like, okay, if I'm doing this, I'm gonna do it all. I'm gonna go all in. So
Yes,
for me,
yes.
that's the key, I guess.
And I'm very excited for your new life and your new journey. So excited for you in Mexico.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
And I always tell the students that I would love for them to come back and share with me what else they manifested down the line. So I'd love to,
For
you know,
sure.
yeah,
Yes.
further down the line and see what other things you manifested. And I know you will manifest amazing things, Cindy. So
Yes. Yes, I know. Yeah, me too. I feel confident, which is, I think, the key. I know, and I know more of the game and how to play it. That's the whole purpose of, for me at least. Like,
Yeah. I
it's
love
just about
it.
practice.
Yes, for sure, for sure. Like you said, it's a lifelong thing. So, well,
Definitely.
thank you, Cindy, for coming on and share your experiences with us. And I'll definitely would love you to invite you back for your future journeys.
For sure. I'll be here. Thank you,
Thank
Amy, for everything.